Manus is one of the biggest AI agents out there right now, but a lot of people don't know what it is capable of. In this video, we're going to go through some of the most powerful use cases and put it to the test. And watch to the end because we're going to go into something really important, which is pricing and credits. Let's start with use case number 1, schedule tasks and in-depth research. I asked it to look up no-code MBA daily social media monitoring. And what I find really interesting is that it went above and beyond, and it gave me some more ideas about how we can do this. Because we can also see this as a way to say, give me the lowdown on everything about my brand. And that's what it's done. It said that this new article here appeared in News Search within hours of publication. It said that the new Claude Cowork tutorial had this many views in 22 hours. There's a X account mention and a third-party endorsement that we should get back to. There's also a competitor gap here too. Then it gives us 3 recommended actions for today. Scheduled tasks are very powerful because you can ask it to do obviously the same thing every day or every week. And you can take this a step further because look at this. It created a report based on what it found. So it did some deeper research and created this, and it only took about 2 to 3 minutes to create. So you can see here, it looked at the brand health at a glance. It did things like YouTube engagement and last week's performance. And then it looked at things like trending topics. And then it looked at what we could do in the next 7 days. Now, you can obviously go back and forth with this to get this down exactly how you like it. But this presentation style is something very powerful. I'm going to see more presentations later. Let's look at the next use case, which is building an app. And even if you're not looking to build an app right now, watch this next step just to see how powerful Manus is. Now, if you've used different app builders before, then it looks quite similar. But this took 1 prompt and 2 messages about some errors, and it's got to a stage that I actually like it. So this is an app that if I type in a question or a sentence in English and it's incorrect, then it's going to correct that and then give feedback. So this is one I did earlier. I hope to go in. It says I hope to go. Then it gives a grammar lesson and some examples here too. So this is just one simple example app using AI. But if we go over here, click publish, we need to create a backend service here. So this app includes backend services that need to be published separately. Now we also have the iOS one here too, to publish an app or create an app here too. Now there are going to be steps involved, but know that you can do this within Manus. And there's a database here, file storage and settings that we can go into in order to get this published. But you can also get it off Manus by connecting it to GitHub. So you can add it to GitHub, take the code off Manus, and then use it elsewhere. So you can think of this as well in terms of having it be prototype building. If someone needs a prototype for an app or you want to build a prototype for an app, you can start it in Manus. Now the next use case is really powerful. I asked Claude just to come up with some dummy data for week 1, views, sales, revenue. And I just asked it to, very simply, can you take the spreadsheet and make it visual for me? I want to see this as a presentation. Now, I actually think it went above and beyond because if we look at this presentation here, it gives us an executive summary where revenue grew 68.6% year over year. Then it gives us how 2025 outperformed 2024 across every metric. And it gives us the change here with the percentages. Then it shows the revenue growth throughout both years and just gives us on a graph. And then it gives us key takeaways and strategic outlook. This was all done from a spreadsheet, and this is a very powerful thing to have for yourself, if you're doing it for clients, if you're doing it for a company too. Now, the next one is another presentation where I just asked it to examine a website, an old website of mine, report on its SEO and traffic, see what's performing well and what isn't and where some gaps are. And then I asked it to, instead of just giving this executive summary, to put it in a presentation and suggest some articles for me too. So then it did this, and I didn't have to connect anything, no connectors. It used its own connectors and its own ability to scrape different tools. And then you can see, again, executive summary, a site in decline. Thank you very much. Then it goes through the traffic overview in terms of average view, visit duration, bounce rate, traffic change month on month. Then traffic sources. You can make your own mind up if it's dangerously dependent on organic search or if that's a good thing. Then it gave me geography, domain authority and backlinks, top performing pages, some broken links, And you can ask it to go much deeper into this and to create spreadsheets for you. And then later on, we'll look at AI agents. It can then take action on this for you too. It goes on and on. I won't go through everything, but you can just see how powerful that is by just giving it a website URL and have it come up with all of this. And then I just asked it to do a simple use case, create a monthly budget for 2 with an income of 8,000 and expenses for rent, groceries, and transportation. Now, you can actually take this further and feed it data in terms of how much you normally spend, and it can tell you where you can cut down and what you can do. But this is just given the 50-30-20 rule, where it needs, wants, savings, and just saying, if you've got an $8,000 monthly income, this is what you should be spending on these different tools. And this is for an average 2-person household. Now, before we go into meta ads and everything else, this is a landing page that I asked it to create, where it's a free book for studying Italian. Now, again, we can use this with GitHub. So if you have your website connected to GitHub, then you can simply connect it to that and have it just uploaded there as a different page. But the way that it came across is pretty good. I asked it for a minimalist design. It's also got the mobile version here. And if you click get this free book, it comes up with a pop-up. I like that on websites when it has a pop-up instead of just enter your email address. So it's able to build websites inside of Manus, which is very powerful. It can build apps and websites. Now, I want to talk a little bit about agents now, because this is their version of OpenClaw, where you can chat with your AI agents and link it to Manus through Telegram. Now, you'll see at the bottom it says coming soon, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Line. Now, I'm not surprised WhatsApp and Messenger because Manus is now owned by Meta. But the idea with the AI agents is that it's going to have this memory. So it's going to be able to have the full context and memory, and it's in the cloud. So it's not on your desktop. It's not on a Mac Mini. Instead, it's in the cloud. You can also build custom skills. You can have this brand consistency as well. But the idea with this is that you're going to be able to use Telegram and WhatsApp and Messenger and ask agents to take action for you using Manus. Now, there are other things you can do with Manus in terms of connectors, and these are really powerful too. Now, you might have seen that people are using the Meta Ads Manager. So this is where you can connect Meta Ads to automate ads insights and optimization, and it can also create for you as well. So I'm going to link to this post here, because it's really interesting that this person has used it and what he has learned so far. He's saying in terms of how it can outperform a human is through speed, no bias towards protecting existing work, and the breadth of analysis. Now, some of this you can, if you have a good team working on this, and all of this doesn't apply. But it's definitely something worth looking into when it comes to Manus, even if it's just the analysis and the Meta's Ads Manager, just looking at the analysis, and it might give you something different when it comes to that. And then the other kind of apps that you can connect are things like your Gmail. So it can give you a to-do list based on your Gmail, or give you a summary of what's important inside of your Gmail account. It can also connect to your Google Calendar, understand your schedule, manage your events, etc. And just look at all the different things here as well. It can connect to Instagram, Notion, Zapier. It goes on and on. And then the last thing I want to show you is that we can also create video and audio. Now, I asked it to create a reel for video before, and it wasn't the best. However, I did not use the Manus 1.6 Max, which is something that I think you might need to do when it comes to creating video. Now, I talked before about credits and pricing. We can see the usage here, and we can see exactly what the credits were used for. So the daily social media monitor report for No Code MBA was 237 credits. The landing page was 127. The monthly budget was 22. Now, if we go to Manus pricing plans, I went for the standard monthly usage of the 4,000 credits per month. So if we go back to this, we can do a quick calculation and say that if we did this social media report every day, this would be over 7,000 credits. So you can think about how all of this can add up. It can all add up when you've got different schedules, if you've got the agents running, if you've got other tasks that you want to do. So it's important to know how much this can cost. However, you can think about it as maybe we run this once a week to have a weekly monitoring report instead of daily. The app was only 182 credits, so that's really quite incredible when it comes to that. The presentations were 84. Now, the SEO traffic analysis was 400, probably because it had different connectors and it used third-party software. And the last thing I want to show you is personalization, because we can have things like different knowledge bases that we can upload and add. and also skills. So we can add things like stock analysis, and we can also add custom skills here. So if you think about this in terms of how you can add skills in Claude, you can add custom skills here. So let me know what you think about Manus. Is this a tool you want to use and play around with? Or do you prefer something like Claude Code or OpenClaw or something like Tasklet? So leave a comment below. And then also check out our video on OpenClaw use cases and also the difference between Manus and OpenClaw. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.